Hi, I'm going to show you a way to fix your own Perplexus puzzle if some part inside of it breaks off. Okay, it's a fairly sturdy puzzle, but, well, it's also a puzzle more for kids, but heck, who says you have to be a kid to enjoy a great puzzle? You might notice, I'm sure you've noticed by now, I have these clamps on here, okay, and the reason is that I have not glued it back secure. I can tell you that it works just fine like this, and I'll probably just leave it like this in case, heck, maybe something else snaps off later. But I want to show you what I did and what you can do to fix this. You do not have to be very handy with tools. Believe me, I'm not. Okay, so don't be too intimidated by the idea. If you look at this, you'll notice some of the plastic's a little chewed up. Well, that's because I use a screwdriver, a flat end screwdriver, not Phillips head, but a flat tip, and you can see the pieces sort of coming apart a little. Again, I have not re-secured them. But what you're going to want to do is just take the screwdriver and gently go around the edge, and you're going to start prying the two blue sections apart. What you're going to see is these little plastic things here. Here, you see how it's white? That's because the plastic broke off. But take a look at these two. Okay, those are intact. They snap in to corresponding holes up top. And if you go around the whole thing, you can remove the two turquoise plastic strips. You remove them, and again, what you can see is that they match up. And the way to really easily match up the two strips is to look for the little hole. There's only one of them, okay, right there. And that matches up with the corresponding hole on the other piece, okay? So when you match up the two holes, then all the other bits will fit together. This is the center strip. Of course, the ball is not in it, so I can't leave it like that. But there's those two pieces. Once you've removed them, what you're then able to do is lift off the top dome, and I would recommend taking it by the thick plastic bits on the outside. Remove the whole structure. And you can see the whole thing, it fits together nicely, and it's pretty sturdy, except there's a couple of sections, and in my case, what happened was that this little cup near the very end, you have to jump the ball, go here, down the hole, down the ramp, up, jump it into the cup. You probably may not see it. And then also this, if you look closely, I hope it isn't blurry, you can see how I've glued it back. And I put some glue underneath there. Now I'm going to put it back in, and sometimes it takes a few seconds to remember where. This is the way. Yes. There's only one way that the piece can fit in so that all the holes will line up just right. So with a little trial and error, you can figure out how to position it. This part is a little tricky because you have to kind of balance a couple of things together. But again, there is the reference. Remember I told you about that little hole right here, okay? That's going to match up with the one part of the clear plastic that's not a hole, but rather just a U-shaped notch in the edge. You can see that's where the hole goes. So with that as your reference, okay, I'm going to line up the hole, and I'm going to put the clear plastic part and bring it up. Line up the little turquoise pegs. Sorry about the marble rolling. I hope it doesn't drown me out. All around, and there is the bottom half. Now, you're going to hold one half. The other half may flop away a little bit. So, again, this takes a little patience. Okay, And again, I'm looking for that notched section that's not a hole or a pair of holes, but just that notch, because that is what I line up with the little hole here. So I'm going to put that, there we go, okay? And that is, whoops, wait a minute. Like I said, it's not difficult, you just got to be a little patient. Go around the edges and match up. Try and get everything as secure as possible. Again, there's that little hole for my reference. And, come on you, slide it over. And you'll know you have it all lined up properly if you can see through that little hole there. Okay? Now, you just take some of these clips, okay? Get them at Staples, whatever, or you know, they're the standard office supply, and you just attach them. And I use 6, so I go 1, and then directly across to the other side. 2, whoops, 2. Got to be very careful. Sometimes they'll fly off, so don't hurt yourself. So here we have these 2, and then I'm going to make sure, because you can see how it still kind of hangs open a little bit, so you need a few more clamps around the edges. So I'm going to make, I'll use 3 and 3, because that's about, I think that's, whoop, there, you see, it just snapped off and hit me in the stomach, but, well, sometimes you gotta feel a little pain to get success. And 1 there. Last one. If you're like me, you're going to get all the way to here, and then you're going to say, oh man, I left the marble outside. So just remember to put the marble in before you secure everything, and certainly before you go gluing anything. But see, here it is. It works just fine. And if you bump your thumb against it, you better be careful. You know, in hindsight, I'm a grown-up and I can deal with it, but you might be careful about letting a little kid play with this with clips that could come off and fly off and hit him in the eye. I certainly don't want that to happen. But hey, look, I fixed my Perplexus, because now I can, well, let's see how far I get. Or you can just turn the puzzle off. You can turn it off now, because all I'm doing is seeing how far I can solve it. It sure would be funny if I solved the whole thing. But I don't think I will this time.
They need to get started right. Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Good nutrition from the start.
We're now offering large 3-topping pizzas for $7.